So ethics has been a widely researched topic in the area of computer science. So if you look at the IT industry, and in this research paper that we have carried out, we try to work out on the ethical dilemmas and the importance of promoting ethics in the IT profession. So if I would give a brief introduction to our research paper, so many philosophers have agreed that ethics are the ideals that dictate moral behavior. So from the beginning of the civilization, humans have understood the concept of ethics. Throughout history, many professions have emerged and evolved, and IT profession is one of those important ones. Until recent times, the focus on ethics has been very limited. But now, throughout the profession and in the industry, a lot of focus has been focused on ethical dilemmas. In this paper, we have elaborated the importance of ethics in IT industry along with some of the ethical dilemmas faced by the IT professionals. Moreover, we have discussed the roles of professional bodies in the development of professional code and ethics. Ethical dilemmas are situations in life where you have to take decisions between two or more options, and where all of these options might not lead to an ethical decision. For example, if we take an IT professional, he or she would have to make a decision at certain points in his career, and making correct decisions is very important amidst all the pressure that he or she has. For example, based on rules or regulations, the course of action might be correct at all times, but based on the ethical guidelines and the morality of the action, some actions might not be preferable. So the ability of a professional is to cater to such ethical scandals, and the response should vary depend on the individual characteristics of the person. And all of these should lead to a better IT professional doing his or her job very well.
We have used a case study done by the International Journal of Electronic Commerce Studies in order to analyze the concept of ethical dilemma. Having the opportunity for unauthorized access. An employee of an IT-based company eventually discovered a loophole in the company internal system which can be used to access employee database of that company. As a responsible employee, he or she reports about the loophole to the IT section of the company, but the process of covering the loophole will take some time to fix. Possible actions. Using the existing loophole until the IT staff fix this issue to dig into someone of his competitive co-workers' profiles to get an upper hand in the upcoming promotion for a particular position. Making some other friend in the same company to get the information for him or her by using the loophole, since his or her access might get monitored by the company after his or her knowledge on the loophole. Not going to use the non-loophole for any illegal or unethical purpose. Considering the identified possible actions, the first two actions might not be illegal depending on the company policy, but those are ethically incorrect actions to take. And the third action is the most ethical action he or she can take regarding the particular scenario. In terms of personal perspective of the employee, taking the most ethical action might not be the most beneficial for him or her. But as the responsible professional in the IT industry, he or she should take the action which is most ethical action to take within his or her legal restrictions. It is highly important for all the parties in the field of information technology to take decisions in an ethical manner. Choosing unethical decisions would benefit a company or an individual for a short time, but the consequences may lead to larger problems in the long run. As a professional, it is important to understand that they also have a duty towards the society.
Although the importance of ethics has been identified throughout our paper, without proper coordination among professional bodies, there would not be an encouragement for IT professionals to actually go and follow these ethical guidelines. So we have researched on this area heavily, and we have found out the history of how these professional bodies got together and made those ethical guidelines. So as software engineering evolved, professional bodies played a significant role. So at earlier days, when the computer science field was not mature enough, we did not have ethical guidelines and code of ethics. But today, ACM and IEEE CS, for example, have taken the initiative to make code of ethics to acknowledge the broad ethical principles to guide IT professionals so that they would be able to make correct decisions when they are faced with ethical dilemmas. And as software engineering is a maturing field and a profession, all of these initiatives taken by these major bodies have been very impactful. IEEE CS and ACM have always stood up for the professionalism in IT, along with great ethical guidelines. The Software Engineering Coordinating Committee established the Software Engineering Code of Ethics and Professional Practice to develop a code that software engineering community as a whole would be able to accept. So all these efforts have been guided to make all the professional bodies to come to a common standard so that ACM and IEEE CS, for example, can have a common ground to get a code of ethics and to build all those guidelines to make professional standards. Professional bodies have recognized issues that could arise due to ethical dilemmas, and they have strived to build a code for the ethical guidelines. So to conclude our research paper and our findings, so as the field of information technology has moved to professional standards, it is highly important that we value and respect the ethical guidelines throughout the body. And ethics, as well as rules and regulations, provide IT professionals the standards for professional requirements and the guidelines to make a choice when he or she is faced with multiple options, especially in the case of ethical dilemmas. And ethical behaviors of IT profession not only benefits the IT individuals, but also the society at large. So it is more beneficial to consider the long-term consequences rather than the short-term consequences. So as a whole, ethics is important for IT profession.